Hello everyone, my name is Kiran Khanvilkar. Welcome to today's webcast. In today's webcast, I'm going to talk about how to integrate Infopath with Project Online. In today's session, we will discuss the tools required to implement this integration, and I will demo you how to display project-related information in the Infopath forms using the end-to-end demo. This is a little background about me. I have around 15 years of experience in Microsoft project, mainly into support services and training. I have also completed my MCP and MCTS certification in Microsoft project. We are a certified Microsoft Gold PPM partner, providing consulting on project server and project online services since its inception. All our team members are Microsoft certified and have extensive experience in Project Online and Project Server. In fact, few of our team members have contributed to new release of Microsoft Project Online and Project Server for past 3 cycles. So at the end of this webinar, you will come to know how to create data connections in Infopath. And once you have the data connection created, how you can display the project related information using the data connection in the Infopath form. So to implement this, we require a Microsoft Infopath Designer 2030 or later. And then we also require project online environment, and uh, we need we need Microsoft Excel and Microsoft Access. So in this demo, what we are going to do is we are going to create a SharePoint list uh, to accept project change request, and this SharePoint list we are going to create on SharePoint projects on project site. And once we have that list, on that list, we are going to add a couple of columns like project name and the project manager name. And we want to populate the project name and the project manager name um, uh, from the uh, from the uh, from the project level information. So basically, to get that information about project name and project manager name, we need to create a WO data connection in Excel. However, we cannot use Excel or OData directly in Infopath. However, we can use the XML in the Infopath. That's why we need to convert the Excel um, data connection in the XML format using Microsoft Access. And once you have the XML document, we need to upload that XML document to PWA site collection. And then we need to point to that PWA uh, document library uh, in the Infopath. So basically in the Infopath, we need to create a data connection and point to the XML document which we have uploaded to PWA site collection. And once we have the data connection created, we can go ahead and create rules in Infopath to populate the project name and the project manager name in the project change request form. So before we go ahead and implement these steps, I want to show you how the end results will look like. So let me go back and go to one of the SharePoint site. Okay. So let me open this SharePoint site on which I have already implemented this integration. So if I go to project change request list, you can see that we have a project name and the project manager column in this list. And if I click on new item, the project name and the project manager name is getting populated by default, right? So let's see how we can implement this uh, using Infopath and data connections. So let me go back to the top level site. PW settings, connected SharePoint sites. And let me open one of the project site. Let's open this project site. So as a first step, let's go ahead and create a SharePoint list to accept project change request. And to do that, I need to go to site contents, add an app. It's going to be a custom list. Click on create. Okay, so the list is created. Let's go ahead and modify the list to add the columns which we require. So the first column which we require here is project name, and it's going to be a single line of text. We need to add another column for project manager. Click on OK. So we have project name and project manager column added here. Let me go back to the list. Now, if I click on new item, you can notice nothing is getting populated by default. So what exactly we want is we want to display the project name and the project manager by default when anyone want to add a new project change request. So click on cancel here. And to do that, we need to go to list and we need to click on customize in Infopath. So this will open the SharePoint list in the Infopath form. Okay, let me share the Infopath form and show you how it looks like. So this is the Infopath form which has been opened in the Infopath. So you can see the different columns which we added, like title, project name, and the project manager name. All right. So here we can create a data connection, but as I said, we cannot create a data connection directly. First, we have to get the data in Excel, and then we need to convert that data in the XML using Microsoft Access, and then only we can create the data connection in Infopath. So let me go ahead and launch Microsoft Excel. Okay, now let me share Microsoft Excel with you. Okay, so here we have Microsoft Excel open. In Microsoft Excel, I want to retrieve the project information, and to do that, I'm going to make a use of OData connection. So let me go ahead and get data from other sources from OData feed, and let me type in the URL. Underscore API slash project data, and then click on OK. This is the OData URL for project. So we need to retrieve the information about the project. So let me select projects, and we don't need all the columns. So we need to perform certain steps to exclude the columns and only select the columns which we require. So to do that, I'm going to click on transform data, and then I'm going to click on choose column, and I'm going to choose project name, project owner name, which you want to use as a project manager name, and then the project workspace internal URL. Click on OK. We also don't require the blank workspaces. So I'm going to make sure we are excluding null from the workspace column and click on OK. So this is going to be our source. So click on close and load. And then let me rename the worksheet project list. Now one thing you'll notice here is that uh, this workspace URL contains the space, right? Like 0 space CLM, 00 space test space 4. But if you look at if you look at the uh, actual site URL, it contains um, percentage 20 um, instead of space. So we need to make sure we have the URL in that format, and to achieve that, I'm going to do a quick find and replace. So I'm going to find space and then replace that with percentage, 20. Click on replace all. And also we need to make sure this URL ends with a backslash. And to do that, I'm going to add another column by the name encoded URL. And I'm going to use a simple formula in Excel. Right? And then I want to add a backslash, enter. So I'm just making some changes, to make sure the URL display exactly as it displays in the browser. And then I'm going to save this. Checklist, click on save. Now, as I said earlier, we cannot use these directly in the Infopath. Before we use these, we need to make sure we convert this to the XML. And to convert this to XML, we have to use Microsoft Access as a tool. So let me go ahead and open the Microsoft Access. Let me stop share and start sharing Microsoft Access. Okay, in the Microsoft Access, I'm going to select blank database, and I'm going to give a name as project list. Create. And here I'm going to create a link table. So let me right click and click on link table manager. I'm going to add a link to a SharePoint. Oh, sorry, I'm going to add a link to Excel worksheet which we just created. Next, I'm going to browse to the location, project list, and click on finish. And it will give me the link spreadsheet wizard where I need to click on next. The first row contains the column heading. Yes, it contains the column headings. Click on next. Click on finish, close. So you can see here we have the project list populated in Microsoft Access, and then Microsoft Access we have to follow a step to convert this to XML. So what we have to do is we have to right click on this project list table which we just linked, and then click on export and export to XML file. And then let me click on browse to the folder where we want to save this, and click on save. So what we have done is we have exported this data in the XML format. And if you look at this data, what we have in this table is we have the project name, the project owner name, and then we have the URL, the encoded URL for each project site, right? Now, as the next step, what we need to do is we need to upload the XML file which we have just created to PW site collection. So let me go back and share the browser. And then let me go to the top level site. And I'm going to upload this to a site assets library. So let me go to site content and then go to site assets. And I'm going to click on upload. Click on browse. And this is the XML file which we just created, project list. Click on open. Click on OK. So this is going to be our actual data source in the Infopath, right? So let me go back to Infopath. And in the Infopath, I need to click on data connection. And I need to add a new connection. So click on add. And in using this new connection, I want to receive the data. I want to receive the project name and the project manager name based on the site URL. So let me click on next here. And then it's going to be a XML document. Click on next. And then I need to browse to the location. And this time the location is going to be a site assets library. Click on open. And it's going to be the project list XML document, which we uploaded at 1:38 p.m. Click on OK. Click on next. And we need to make sure we access the data from the specified location. And we also want to make sure to store a copy for the offline use. Click on next and click on finish. So now as we have created a data connection, as a next step, we need to make sure we use the data connection and populate these text boxes here with, with the data which we require. And to do that, we need to create a rule in the form load event. So for Infopath form, you have the form load, which will get executed, each time you load the form. So whenever the form gets loaded, what we want to do is we want to populate the project name and the project manager name, right? And to do that, we have to click on new rule and action. this action we want to use to populate the project name. So let me name it as display project name, and the action is going to be set fields value. So we want to set the value for the project name, right? So from the field, I'll select the project name, click on OK. And what value we want to set it to? We want to set it to a value which is available in the data source. So click on this button, insert field or group. But the field which you want to insert is not part of the Infopath. It's a part of the data connection which we just created. So I have to click on show advanced view, and from the fields I have to select the project list connection which we have created, and from there I want to display the project name. But this project name, there are so many project names, right? In that list, we want to display only that project name which matches with the site URL, where the encoded URL matches with the project site URL, right? So we need to apply the filter for that. And you can do that using the filter data button. And you need to add the filter. Now in this case, we need to apply the filter based on the encoded URL, right? So click on that. Encoded URL is equal to a SharePoint site URL under which this form is available, right? And to get this SharePoint site URL, or to get the project site URL, you have to use a function. And to use the function, you have to click on use a formula, insert function, and the function name is SharePoint site URL. This function will give you the current site URL, under which the form is available. So you can see here returns the address of the SharePoint site where the form is hosted, right? So click on OK, click on OK, and click on OK. Perfect. Let me do a quick publish to publish this form. Okay, your form template was successfully published. Click on OK. Now let me go back to the project site. So let me go back to the top level site, and then we'll go to the project site. Okay, so this is the project site for which we are performing this configuration. So you can see we have the project change request list here. If I click on project change request and click on new item, see now the project name is getting populated by default, right? We haven't yet configured the project manager rule. So let's quickly do that. Let me go back to Infopath, share. And same way, we need to add a new rule. And let me name this as display manager. Set a fields value. We want to set the value for project manager field. And the value is going to be in project list data connection. The value is project owner, but we want to display only that project owner where the encoded URL matches with the project site URL. So to do that, we have to apply filter and click on add, and we need to make sure the encoded URL column is equal to SharePoint site URL. Click on OK, click on OK, click on OK again, and then we have to publish this form. Okay, your form template was published successfully. Click on OK. Now let me go back to the change request form in the browser. Close. And click on new item. And now we should see the project manager name getting populated by default. So now we are seeing the project name as well as the project manager name by default. Right. Now what we have done so far is we have implemented this for the single project site, right? For the individual site. You can do the same thing, uh, if you want to implement this for the multiple sites. Like if you want to, you can save this as a site template, right? And whenever you create a new project using the site template, it will have the same form and the same features. So let's try to do that. So what we are going to do next is we are going to save this as a site template, and then we are going to create a new project using that site template, and and then see how it works. So let me close this, and then let me go to site settings, save site as a template. Click on OK. So it's currently saving the site template. The site template is saved successfully. Click on OK. Now I'm going to attach the site template to one of the enterprise project type. So let me go back to PW site collection, PW settings, enterprise project types, and let's attach the new site template to enterprise project. It's version 15. Click on save. Okay, now let me go ahead and create a new project. Using enterprise project EPT. Okay, click on finish. We have the auto project site creation set to no. That's why no once the project is get created, I need to create the project site manually. So let me close the project here and then go to PW settings, connected SharePoint sites. Okay, let me find the project. Yeah, here you go. And let me create a site for this project. Okay, this will take some time to create a site. Let's wait. Okay. Okay, so the site is created. Let me I just want to make sure if this is the site on which we okay, let me go back to PW settings, manage queue. Okay, it's 00 Infopath integration test. Okay, this is the site which we just created. So let me go and open this site. Now you can see we have the project change request listed here. So if I click on project change request, and if I click on new item, I'm not seeing the project name and the project manager, right? And that is because even though we have the data connection, that data connection is not yet refreshed. Uh, the data connection, which we refresh before creating this project plan. So this new project is not a part of that data connection which we created in the beginning of this webinar. So one of one of the thing which you need to make sure is you refresh the data connection, you refresh that XML file ongoing basis, so that it will contain the latest data. Now let me show you how you can refresh that XML file. Now to refresh the XML file, you have to follow the same steps. You have to go back to the Excel first. So let me go back to the Excel. And here you have to refresh the data. Once you refresh the data, you'll see that um, the workspace URL has again changed back to change back, and you have to again use this find and replace to replace space with the percentage sign 20. Replace all, close, and then you have to save this. Once you save this, you have to go back to the Excel. Sorry, you have to go back to the uh, Microsoft Access. So go to the Microsoft Access, and you need to refresh the link so that you'll see the new project which you just created here, right? See here, I see the new project which we just created, and then you have to right click here and export this to XML again, and then click on OK. It will just ask you whether you want to replace the existing file. And click on it again, click on close. So now we have refreshed the XML file, and that XML file we have to upload back to PW site collection, right? So I have to go back to PW site collection, share, and then I need to go to PW settings, site contents, site assets, upload, you click on browse, and select the XML file which we just refresh, click on OK. Now if I go back here, now if I click on new item, see, now I'm seeing the project name and the project manager name, right? So these are the steps we have to take if you want to, if you do show uh, the project level information in the Infopath form. So this is the end of the demo, and in case if you have any question and answer, you can definitely send any questions to info@ppmworks.com, or you can send me a message on the LinkedIn. My LinkedIn profile is listed here. If you want, if you want, you can go ahead and visit our blog site at http://blogs.ppmworks.com. Okay. Thank you everyone. Thank you for your time and attending this webinar. Thank you. Bye bye.